You know what I realized is I just kind of like the truck.
Is that a pork chop we're looking at?
That looks like a little poke chop, little lamb chop. Maybe.
I feel like it's a meat popsicle.
Looks like a little lamb chop.
It even had the stick in the bottom. It's clearly popsicle.
I love those.
It's a lamb chop, you say?
I think so. I'm guessing so. It looked like a nice thick cut. I wonder where he said he actually goes to a butcher, I think, right? For the most part, for his meat. And then Jackie gets all her stuff on. Do they do good meat from Amazon? I guess it's Whole Food stuff, right?
It is. Amazon is like 3 places. So it's Whole Foods, Amazon Fresh, and like Amazon proper for some of the more packaged things like Tostito scoops. And then she gets food. I don't think we get meat from anywhere else. Maybe Target or something. But we get other things from other places, vegetables and such.
Okay.
I have a
Kyle,
topic. Oh, good.
I was saying, Kyle, what was that? Was that a lamb chop?
Those are bone-in elk steaks.
Ooh, where'd you get those?
From my butcher.
Have you had one yet?
I have never had one. I got 2. And they are both in the sous vide right now. I'm just double checking right now to make sure I've got my sous vide at the right temperature.
I was going to ask you, does it make you more aggressive, Kyle?
Yeah.
Does it make you more
Yeah, that's what I said. I sent you guys a message the other day. I took a picture of them in my car, and I was like, I'll let you know if I feel more aggressive after.
Oh, that's what those are. Yeah, I saw that text, but didn't.
Did you see Joe Rogan told people not to get the COVID vaccine? Not everyone, but I guess he was saying, like, are you healthy? If you are, do you not have any, like, obesity problems or asthma problems? Don't get the vaccine. Why is this a controversial opinion? Just don't get it. Like, you'll fight it off. You'll be okay. And he's getting a lot of heat for it. Fauci's commented on it. The White House issued a statement about it. Imagine being that.
On Joe Rogan? That's hilarious.
Dude.
Issuing a statement on Joe Rogan.
Okay, on one hand, I hear you. On the other hand, he's legitimately that big. Like, you've also gone on.
It's funny to imagine the Fear Factor guy where the president, someone's like, all right, we're going to make a Joe Rogan address. The annual Joe Rogan address.
Yeah, the guy who says he looks like 2 thumbs with the thumb or something. But, like, shit, who has a broader media reach than Joe Rogan on Earth right now?
At this point, maybe nobody. Like Stern's probably dropped way off. If anybody's up there, maybe it's Stern. I don't even know.
I was going to be like, is a Hannity or Carlson that big?
No, their numbers aren't doing. If just doing like month over month numbers, I get, okay, the closest would be Tucker or Hannity or probably, actually, yeah, one of those two. I don't know who's bigger between Tucker and Hannity, but whoever, Tucker. They would be the closest. Okay, then Tucker would be the closest to him, but even then, like net, Rogan is putting up ridiculous numbers. Like, and
you're sure? Because you don't think that maybe Tucker gets undercounted because we're comparing live numbers and not all his YouTube replays and insanity.
That's fair. Yeah, I wouldn't even with like digital and everything. It's hard to quantify all of the different mediums and then aggregate them. But yeah, if there's someone who's close to him, it's probably like Tucker. Yeah.
Okay. In any case,
Sean Hannity.
Yeah, we were saying the big guys.
He's so big, Rogan, that like it is crazy that his platform is so powerful. And when he tells people not to take the COVID vaccine, it's not insane for the White House to issue a rebuttal.
He already made a comment saying he's clarifying it. Or what, you can't even, I don't really he can't put any of his full videos up here anymore, can he?
Not full
Everything's
videos,
Spotify.
No. Yeah, but this little
I haven't
thing.
listened to anything of his in a long time.
I watched it on Twitter. I heard what he said. And it was basically like, hey, if you're young and you're healthy, you shouldn't get the COVID vaccine. That he doesn't know what's in it. He doesn't trust vaccines, I guess. He's a little anti-vaxxer. And COVID's not that dangerous, so just don't get the vaccine. But I think he's missing kind of the we, right? Like if everyone only took it because they were personally at risk, the thing would spread and mutate and turn into something more dangerous like it already has. There's a bit of a we're all in this together reasoning behind the vaccine too.
Yeah.
So I don't think we talked about this yet, have we?
We haven't. I just want to say before we go to that, I am so fucking hungry and so excited about eating those elk steaks in 2 hours.
I'm jealous of you because I wish I had elk steaks in the sous vide. I'm gonna have to make myself a sandwich, or no, I got some leftover chicken. I can eat that.
They're gonna be so fucking good. I got rosemary and garlic in the sous vide bags, 130 degrees for 2 hours because they're going from frozen. Then I'm gonna make a blueberry balsamic reduction sauce and sear and do like some like garlic butter rosemary like sear on them in a cast iron real quick, like 45 seconds per side.
Ooh, garlic butter rosemary. It's gonna be yum. It's gonna be delish.
It's so fucking good.
It's gonna be magnifique, delish. Yeah, I wish I had some of that. Man, I haven't had elk in forever. I think
I haven't had it since we were in Colorado that one time.
I was gonna say, since we were at that restaurant, I think it's the last time I had elk.
Yeah, but I was I had never been to this butcher, but I went to him the other day. They're not terribly far. They're like 20, 30 minutes from me. And I was getting some filet mignons and some ground beef. And I was just like looking at their frozen section, and they've got whole rabbits, alligator, dove, quail, and then I saw those elk steaks, and I was like fucking sold. I mean, they're a little expensive. Like you saw how tiny it was, and like 2 of those is like $28. But I don't know. I wanted to try something new.
Yeah, they're gonna be good. So this Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul fight. What is your guys' take on this? Because is it just so understood that Mayweather's gonna win that it's like both of them cashing in for like a final big payday, or Logan cashing in on a big payday, or just Logan, do you think in his heart of hearts think I might beat Floyd Mayweather?
It's an interesting fight because Logan is so much bigger than Mayweather. But again, Mayweather's like the slickest boxer there's ever been. You would think that he's just going to dance around him the whole time and never get hit, and he's going to pick him apart. I think that I think the average MMA fan that was at that last event is just a complete dum-dum. Like, look, Logan and Jake Paul, they want you to dislike them.
Mm-hmm.
They want that. That is, if when you boo them, in their head they're thinking mission accomplished. Now,
yeah,
mission accomplished. They fucking hate me. How can I make them hate me more? Let me curse out like someone who they all beloved. Like, hey DC, fuck you, fathead. Yeah. And then DC is dumb enough to come over there and like get into it with Jake Paul, and it's like, and now that's a news story. Now an extra 100,000 people who maybe never heard of Jake Paul, they know about him. Now 45, 50-year-old men know who Jake Paul is for some reason. He wants you to hate him. If you think he's really that big of a douchebag in his heart of hearts in real life, look, I'm not saying he's not. Maybe he is. I don't know him. But I think it's unlikely. I think it's unlikely that the character he has chosen to make him the most amount of money possible just happens to be exactly his own personality. He's like, oh, it's lucky that I'm just the world's biggest goober douchebag, because that just happens to be the personality trait that makes you the most money. No, I mean, he might not be a nice guy, but he's not that big of a douchebag. He wants you to hate him. You know who else likes that? Floyd Money Mayweather. He made a career out of making you hate him by flaunting his money and talking shit and being obnoxious, because people will only show up to watch someone destroy someone so many times. People will only show up to watch someone just dodge and duck and weave and avoid damage and then point fight and win so many times. But we'll keep showing up time after time and putting our hard pay-per-view dollars down if we can maybe just once see that piece of shit get his comeuppance. And that's what these guys are all about. And those people who were at that MMA event, like last weekend, who are screaming, fuck Jake Paul, fuck Jake Paul. That's music to his ears, literally. He loves it. And then in the post-fight interviews, how they get each of the champions to like comment on it. Like now you got a video with 200,000 views that's just Robert Whitaker on what he thinks about the Jake Paul chants. Rose Namajunas on what she thinks about Jake Paul chants. And it's just dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's going to sell another pay-per-view and another and another. And he's going to keep selling pay-per-views until you people realize he wants you to hate him. And he's cashing in. And it doesn't matter if he lied about his pay-per-view numbers and they didn't really sell 1 million plus. If they sold 300,000, He cashed in. If they sold 100,000 at $50 a pop, he cashed in.
He has a Kardashian-like ability to be the center of attention. And I don't think the Kardashians are hated. I think a lot of people like them. But it doesn't matter why they're watching. It only matters that they're watching. Yeah. And Jake Paul gets people to pay attention to him. He's got us talking about him right now.
Yeah, that's true. And we're going to be a huge part of driving people who don't know who he is. I'm sure.
We just made him an extra $50. I guarantee it. I would bet you anything that somebody heard us say this and was like, who is Jake Paul? I got to look into this. They look into it and they're fascinated by it. And then they go and watch one of his fights in the future.
So
like maybe they just mentioned it to one of their friends. Yeah, I heard about this Jake Paul guy. You ever hear him? No, I've never heard of him. And then they do the research and they fall for the fucking game, and then they buy the pay-per-view event.
I fall for the game a little bit. Like Logan Paul, I actually quite like. I don't know that you say Logan Paul's thing is being hated.
Jake Paul.
Well, Logan Paul.
You might have said both, but
well, I mean, Logan Paul has certainly done plenty of things to.
Oh, that's true. Actually, like
franchise himself to others,
hanging thing and more. Yeah, but
I'm
past that.
Me too. I didn't care at the beginning.
I moved on. I thought it was tasteless, but you know what? If you're gonna hold tasteless shit against people, then I'm gonna have enemies too. So, I moved on from that. Every time I see him talk, like I kind of like Logan Paul. Jake Paul, every time I see him talk, I dislike him. Sometimes I dislike him because I find him uninteresting and bad. And I'm like, is that how he's working me? Has he 3D chessed me into, like, Ben Askren was talking, and Jake Paul's comeback was to go, yeah. Say it again. This time I'll remember to laugh. And I'm like, I don't like you. That's not clever. That's not good. That wasn't a good comeback. Wait, did you just do what you wanted to against me? Did you just work me? Maybe he didn't have a good thing to say, and he is that lame. I can't, sometimes don't know where the act is, and
it doesn't matter though.
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't.
Same result.
It's the same result.
Same result. And look, I promise you this: if Jake Paul wanted you to like him, you'd probably like him.
Yeah, he's clearly got the charisma to go either way with that.
If he wanted people to like him, he'd figure out a way to make it happen. He'd be doing charity work, or he'd be doing fun things, or he'd be smiling on camera. He wouldn't be cocking his arm like it's a shotgun after he knocks down a beloved MMA fighter, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he wants this. Whenever people realize that, which was going to happen never, he'll stop making money. Jake Paul is going to make many millions of dollars fighting. He's going to make so much more money fighting than people who are actual fighters. And look, I'm not saying he's not an actual fighter. He's clearly got some talent. I'm just saying he's not the kind of fighter that we normally put hard-earned money down to watch fight. Usually, especially in the UFC, for example, when you buy a pay-per-view event, you are paying for some people who have spent their life's work has been perfecting the art of combat. Hand-to-hand
They've started
combat.
grappling at 7 years old.
They've studied under actual masters of the science. They've attended multiple workshops in schools. They've traveled away from their homes just so they could be next to some fucking sensei to learn how to fucking throw a kick or to throw a punch.
They shacked up with a heavyweight as a 14-year-old girl to learn under his tutelage.
I don't like it when you talk about my lady that way.
She's a champion now. You do what it takes, Kyle.
Jesus.